Hey everybody, this is Season 2, Episode 4 of the Matt Report. Thanks for joining us. Been a little while. It's been about 5-6 weeks, and we're going to talk about that today. As always, it's mattreport.com. If you want to subscribe to the mailing list, it's mattreport.com/subscribe. And we really, really want to get to 100 reviews in iTunes. We're sitting at 69 right now. We'd love to get to 100. I'm sure we could do that by the end of the year. So if you do enjoy the show and you are taking away some nugget of information that helps you or entertains you, whatever it might be, go ahead and leave a review on the Matt Report channel on iTunes. That would be greatly appreciated. Some of the things that's going on this year, I'm kind of excited for going over to WordCamp New York at the end of October. It's actually on Halloween weekend. Devin, are you going to that at all?
No, I'm not going to New York.
How about U.S.?
Definitely going to U.S., yes.
Awesome. Yes, I booked my tickets a few weeks ago for U.S., so I will be there, and I'll be at Pressnomics 4.
Yep, be there too.
Awesome. Next year. So if anybody who's in the audience is listening to this, you can check me out at New York, U.S., and Pressnomics 4, and Devin at U.S. and Pressnomics 4 as well. Some other news, I'll be on the Grumpy Dev podcast, recording that show tomorrow. I don't know when that airs, but that'll be out there. And then I'll have a special guest for this season coming on for an interview, Justin Jackson of Product People. He recently headlined or keynoted the Startups for the Rest of Us conference, and now, of course, that's slipping my mind, but that was over in Barcelona. So I can't wait to talk to him. He does a lot of sort of micro products, and he did a WordPress plugin once, and I think he actually got hit with a cease and desist because of the business model around it. So I'm kind of interested to talk to him about that and just hear about his experience in the WordPress world, because I don't think he's really doing it anymore, which is sort of interesting. I do want to read a couple of listeners. So a lot of folks, if you don't go ahead and leave a review, that's okay. Someday you will, we hope, in iTunes. But there have been a few people, so I'm just opening up my tweet deck here. Mark Connor sent me a tweet the other day saying that he really enjoyed the episode about us launching the Julep plugin. So Mark, thanks for that. John Peterson went to, I think, WordCamp DFW, and it said time to listen to some Matt Report on the way back to Houston. So that was awesome. And then Bolt Digital on Twitter, catching up on the Matt Report WordPress Business Podcast. Bolt Digital, you're always a big fan of us, so we thank you for tweeting that stuff out all the time. So Devin, man, welcome back.
Hey, thank you. It's good to be back.
If folks have picked up on it, Devin's got a new microphone and it sounds sweet. Good job, man.
best $60 I've ever spent.
Yeah, it's a great mic. I'm actually thinking about getting one myself, especially while all the traveling for the WordCamps and Pressnomics, because it's super portable. It's easy. That's USB, right? That one.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's crossover between the two. I'm not sure what the other one's called. I'm not AV specialist, but You can put it in really easily and sets up just fine.
Awesome. So I know that things were cranking away in the last episode 3, with what you had going on. You hadn't launched the map plugin yet.
Right.
This was right before, of course, I was getting married and going on the honeymoon. But let's hear it from your end. What have you been working on, and sort of what's been going on in your world?
Yeah, so the big launch we did have, we did launch Maps Builder Pro and released the 2.0 version of the free product as well. We had a lot of good influencer support. Chris Lemma wrote a nice contest where he challenged 10 people to, or he challenged people in his comment section to, provide the most unique way that they could build maps using this new plugin with the various features it has, one of which being a mashup feature, which allows you to pull in data from your custom post types and kind of display those on a map. So lots of cool ideas. He picked 10 people, and we gave away the licenses to them, and it was really good support from him as well. Pippin Williamson was kind enough to do a video review for us, which he went really in depth and dove into like everything the plugin could do, and provided us some useful feedback from that too. And so that was really good in getting us off the ground there. So that's the big launch that we had.
Yeah. And did it all go smoothly? Did you hit your deadlines on time, or did you get any turbulence along the way?
We wanted to go a week earlier, but we pushed back a week just because it wasn't ready yet. And Chris Lemma really suggested that we have some of these really key features in it. So we really were happy we passed it by him. We just did a quick 20-minute overview via Skype with him, and he's like, yeah, this is really cool, but if it did this, and we're like, oh, well, we got to make it do that now.
Right. You fell for the trap, didn't you?
No, but it was really the best suggestion, and we, that was one of the best things we could have done to do is, not release the product without that.
Yeah. Which feature was it, if you don't mind?
It was the mashups feature where
okay.
you can pull in data from different post types, or if you want to show users, and eventually we'll open that up to other APIs and things outside of your site too.
Sure. How far along were you on that on building that feature out internally, like before you were ready to launch? So when he said, hey, maybe you should really launch with this, were you like 50%, 80%? What did that look like?
We were 0%.
Wow.
We knew we wanted to do it, but yeah, I was like, I could probably get the MVP of this done in a week, and that's what happened. I actually estimated it correctly on that.
Nice. So is that just 1 week of your time sort of cranking away? Is that you and other folks working on it at the same time?
Yeah, it was me and Matt primarily.
Nice.
Matt Cromwell with me here. And we had to get the demo site up with documentation too. So we got the demo online with the mashups feature. It's mapsbuilder.wordandpress.com. And we actually used Beaver Builder to build the site out, and we were really happy with the way it turned out too. So that's another great plugin, by the way, for your listeners.
Yeah. We're fans of what they have going on over there. We like what they I know
they're kind of a competitor to yours. So
yeah, I mean it's a little bit different, right? I mean, I don't want to get into it on this show, but we're very we come out and tell people, like when we do pre-sales, when people because we get this question all the time, and I can actually share a story while I was on my honeymoon, working, of course, or at least taking a couple hours out of the day to do some work. We had somebody specifically ask, send in questions, and we get these questions all the time. It's like, hey, I'm looking at Beaver Builder, I'm looking at your stuff. What is it that what are the major differences? And we have a new website coming, and we're going to explain these differences and things like that.
Awesome.
But Beaver Builder is a complete sort of building solution, right? So just like you said, you want to build out a site, and you want to really control and build out the design, look and feel of the site, you'd probably want to go with Beaver Builder. When you want to work with just layouts of content and focus on sort of the metadata of content, really have that granular control, without all of the sort of design and layout options that a purebred builder will give you, that's where Conductor comes into play. So we actually have folks that use it in both together, right? So they'll use Beaver Builder to build out a site, but then when it comes to laying out their content, they opt to go with Conductor because we approach things a little bit differently. And again, we're just focused on that content, much like your mashup add-on or feature for your maps plugin takes content and displays it into the map. We sort of do the same thing as we'll scoop up EDD products and display it. So again, very much focused on the content and the data within your WordPress site versus the overall look and feel. In fact, we don't do anything with look and feel of a site like Beaver Builder does. So good stuff. What about the rest of the business? How's all that going?
It's going very well. We've been working closer with Caldera WP on a number of projects. Josh Pollock over there is a really talented individual. So we've been
dude's a machine, by the way. I mean, yeah. When does he sleep? I don't even know.
No, I mean, we were just in Las Vegas at WordCamp Las Vegas this last weekend, and I don't think he slept the whole weekend. So,
well, if you're gonna not sleep, that's the town to do it in.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of a good thing that we've got going as well. We've been chugging away, developing on recurring donations, and in the process, we're really contributing back to easy digital downloads. I have a number of pull requests that are getting merged in, and one just went out in their release that went out yesterday. So really giving back to what they've helped us with, and then also moving forward with their projects and ours as well. So that's been fun to kind of work with them and their team over the last couple of weeks too.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you taking on regular client work too at the same time?
Yeah, so actually, I mean, I just finished another showcase architecture website last week, which was really nice because we had our internal team here put together a nice content deck with all the images. This goes here, that goes there. I really didn't have to think too much. I could just kind of build it out without asking for content and stuff. So that really allowed me to build it in just a couple of days, you know.
Sweet. That's awesome. Anything that you've learned over the last month or so, since any surprises or any big takeaways that you've come across?
I was thinking about that. Can you come back to me on that?
Yeah.
There's been so much that's happened in the last, 6 weeks or somewhat before we got on here that I could provide you several different, but I need to think of the one.
Yeah, let me. So I'll just dive into sort of the updates, on my end and what's been happening. So, just when you think you can sort of manage everything, planning a wedding, leading up to the wedding, and then of course getting married and a honeymoon, like you think you can get all this stuff done. Like I thought I was going to have Julep ready to go and have the beta out before I left, so that people could play with it sort of while I was away, and I could sort of enjoy the fact that I'd be coming back to an inbox full of hate mail. But certainly that was not the case. Did not get a chance to really finalize some of the details on Julep, but it is in the state ready to go. So I could finally release it into a private beta or a public beta. I was actually looking to get maybe your thoughts on this. It's still a very, I don't want to say it's rough, because I'm sort of past that whole launching a product and launching a piece of software and saying, gee, is this ready? Is it not? Because in my mind, it's never ready. And we do just need to launch it, get it out there. But there are some things that I really want to hone in before I really give it to the masses. So I'm thinking private beta, or maybe I'll just do a public beta. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, with Maps Builder, our beta wasn't as successful as with Give, and I attribute that with Give, we gave it more time, and we did open it up more so to the public. So I would suggest more of a public beta rather than a private one.
Yeah, and how was it not successful? Did you have like some metrics in place you were trying to measure against, or are you just like general feedback and overall like gut feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we provided enough direction to the beta testers this time around, and yet just the lack of, the number of beta testers.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. If I might just do a public, and I and also on the fence whether or not I put it on .org right away and label it a beta, because I'm afraid of sort of reviews and things like that. Although I shouldn't be at this point.
Yeah.
it's I don't know. I really haven't.
I probably wouldn't put the beta on WordPress.org, although there is the beta tag now, which I haven't used yet, and I've been looking into using that for our plugins now soon.
Yeah, I was going to ask Pippin what he thought about that, using the beta tag, and I know Jason Lemieux, I think is his last name, from I know his new plugin is called Epic. It's EPOCH, which is for the comments, the commenting platform. Of course, I'm going to forget the name of his plugin. I use it on my site. Postmatic,
gotcha.
Which is what his sort of new flavor on commenting, which is really cool. And I know he had trouble sort of gaining traction. I don't know if the beta tag was available when he launched. I think it just simply said it was in beta. So I might ping him and get his thoughts too. But yeah, so that's where we're at. We got that ready to go. Again, Julep, I know it's been a while, so if you're a brand new listener, that's what this whole season is about, sort of Devin and I launching new products and sort of journaling this along the way. But Julep allows you to add text on top of images for your featured images or any image in your WordPress website. So that'll be looking to get that out pretty soon, and I can't wait to do that. But, for me, really the biggest lesson in sort of all of this stuff is you got to leave yourself some breathing room, right? I mean, we live and die by sort of our calendars and our to-do lists, and then, of course, all the brain cells up in your brain that are like, hey, don't forget that, don't forget this. And we sort of jam-pack ourselves in, and at the end of the day, especially after taking 2 weeks off from a honeymoon and thinking, boy, will the business just collapse with me gone? Will I miss out on some huge opportunity that I otherwise would have been there for? Will I miss out on some kind of special news in the WordPress space or the tech space in general? None of that mattered at the end of the 2 weeks, and even the week before getting married and being super busy. That week is literally like 3 weeks of pure disconnection. And then I got sick when I got back. I think my body was just like so not used to like drinking alcohol every single day on the beach, and it was just having this freak out mode. So I was sick for a couple days. But yeah, like that whole, there's a million things to do, and as entrepreneurs and business owners, busy people, we're trying to get all of that stuff done at once. Giving yourself some breathing room and really taking a step back and saying, look, getting married and all that stuff and running a business. And we had one of our long-term employees move away from us. He relocated to another city. He just wanted to move out and move and get a different experience. And he took another job. All of that compounding effect of that running the client services business and the product business was very difficult, but it is what it is. Life gets in the way sometimes, and that's exactly what happens, right? But the world still exists, right? Things did not blow up. We're still chugging away, and we're just wiser for going through these experiences at the end of the day.
Exactly. I went through the same type of feelings that you did when I went, on my honeymoon, probably 3 months ago now, actually, and I caught myself several times checking emails and actually doing a little bit of work every couple of days, just because it is really hard to disconnect for that long. I mean, we're entrepreneurs in 2015 in the tech space. It's how do you expect us to do that?
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's one of those things where it's not like, I'll speak for myself, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be your answer too. It's not like we hate doing this stuff, right? I guess it would be totally different if you went on your honeymoon and you had a boss that was like, don't forget to check your email while you're on your honeymoon. And you're like, no way, dude. Like, I'm not going to do that. But, this is the stuff that we sort of, live for, and it's our baby. And the good and the bad is it's very difficult to pull yourself away from it, because you are the one or the very few that can really pull it together. So, but my team did great over here at Slocum. We launched a whole bunch of projects while I was away, so that was cool. Now that I'm back, the other thing that I sort of experienced was, I don't know about you, but I'm always reading sort of business books all the time.
You probably read more than I do.
Which we'd probably come into a tie, but especially in the summertime, like my wife really likes to go to the beach and just like chill and relax, and me, very agitated, ready to go and do something else. But I bring a book with me or on my Kindle. But this time I read a nonfiction book, right? Ooh, right. Totally different, right? And it was The Martian, where Matt Damon is going to star, and it was
I wanted to read that book,
dude. Now. It was awesome. Like, I could not put it down. Like, I finished. My brother bought me a book. Here's a perfect example. My brother bought me a book for my birthday, which was back in April, and it was by Peter Thiel. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's about startups and talking about how he started PayPal and that whole culture in forward thinking in Silicon Valley. But I read that, and that was very businessy. not very hardcore, but it was a good read. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to get this Martian. I heard the author on This Week in Startups with Jason Calacanis, so I picked it up, and I could not put it down. It was awesome. And now I just can't wait for the movie to come out.
Yeah, I have to read that before it comes out.
Yeah. So I picked that one up, and I finished that. I flew through that. Right, it's a novel, so however many hundreds of pages that bad boy was, but I flew through that in like 3 days. It was great. And then I picked up 10% Happier. That's been a really good book so far, about a newscaster who is very well known, who is having sort of anxiety attacks and lots of external pressures, and I'm getting into the chapters where he's talking about how he was, getting into drugs and managing all this stuff, and that's been a pretty good. It's a business book, sort of self-help-ishy book, but sort of a story and a fun story at the same time, because the dude's just beating himself up at every corner. But it's 10% Happier. I'm really enjoying that one so far. But the whole point of that sort of ramble was it's really got me wanting to write more again. And a lot of people say, hey, what are the tips for, being able to blog and write more? And I've always heard people say, well, read more and you're going to write more. And
That's
I was
good.
Yeah, and it's certainly the case for me. Like, I've been reading, and I sat down, wrote a blog post the other day for our theme site at Slocum Themes, and dude, I flew through it. It was like 1,200 words, and it was done. I was like, wow, like, geez, that was easy.
Don't discredit your writing, Matt. You are a great writer and write way more than I do. So keep that up.
Yeah. So that's really sort of encouraged me to write a lot more, and I really want to do that. And in terms of the business, the next steps, for Conductor is launching the new site. For the theme site, I'm reworking my course. And actually, let me go into my Gravity Forms. Sorry for the dead air, but so on our theme site, Slocum Themes, I use GetDrip. That's getdrip.com. That's Rob Walling from Startups for the Rest of Us. That's his email drip software. And I don't really talk about this much, but we have a 9-part course. It's called the Perfect Website, Building the Perfect WordPress Website course. And it's actually all linked up in all of our free themes on WordPress.org, because majority of the folks who are buying this stuff are brand new users to WordPress. They really don't know how to use WordPress that well. And this course sort of steers them in the direction of, how to put together a WordPress site, specifically for a business, right? So we sort of walk them through. We don't go from the very basics of like installing WordPress. We've already assumed that they're doing that since they're installing a WordPress theme. But we tell them that, the right things to do, how to make a child theme, how to set yourself up for some baseline security and backups, all the way to sort of baseline install of WooCommerce and setting up call to actions and just getting you sort of generally, ready to go and ready to launch your business on WordPress. But it's starting to get a little stale. I think it's about a year old. So I sent out, there's about 400 people enrolled in that course. And I sent out a survey, actually the day I got back, right before I got sick, or I started to feel sick. And to my surprise, the majority of folks are just legitimate, sort of your run-of-the-mill business owner, right? They're not, I'd always assumed that I had a good mix of sort of consultants and marketing type people that are using WordPress for making some money, of course, because of the Matt Report and things like that. But an overwhelming majority of people, just looking at my Gravity Forms survey, I use Gravity Forms survey add-on to capture these questions, and 5 times over are people that are business owners, which is really interesting for my demographic of themes. And they're
I love WordPress data, by the way.
Yeah. So I asked them a series of questions, and I said, can you rank these in order of difficulty? And the questions I asked was, if you could rank these in order of difficulty, what is the most difficult? And I asked securing WordPress, selecting lead generation plugins, e-commerce plugins, finding the right web host, installing WordPress, membership plugins, or other, like what's your biggest, and maybe there's some other thing that has ranked up pretty high. And the top 3 were securing WordPress, generating leads, and e-commerce plugins, right? And that's about 50 or so results or survey takers. So not bad. It's a small sample of an even smaller sample for the course. So that's kind of interesting to learn. And the most requested feature, actually, in the year 2015 is downloadable guides.
Wow.
And that outranked, just more written instructions, more forum asset. Like maybe do you want a private forum? Do you want more videos? And videos certainly ranked high, but overwhelmingly it was downloadable guides. Which
interesting.
Is, yeah,
I would have
is
thought
cool.
video,
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Because right now ours is just text-based. You get it in a 9-part email drip through the drip platform, or you can. I think by part 3 of the drip, I have it where people download a PDF and it stops the drip, and you can just get the 88-page PDF. So that's kind of cool. So that's sort of what I'm working on next in terms of my next bit of marketing stuff to tackle.
That actually got me thinking too, along the lines of surveys. If your listeners haven't taken the WordPress.org 2015 survey yet,
yes.
So maybe a good shout out to go over to WordPress.org and take that survey, so we can have a lot more data at the state of the word, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's probably a specific link, but if you just go to WordPress.org, you'll see a little orange link at the very top, and it says, have you taken the WordPress 2015 survey yet? If you click that, yes, it takes you to like a Pull Daddy weird URL. So if you just go to WordPress.org, click at the top, you can take that survey. But that's an awesome point, because I definitely want something interesting to hear when I'm in Philly. Freezing, by the way.
I know. We were just talking about that.
So, So I mean, my takeaway over the last few weeks is certainly sort of getting that opportunity to recharge and just taking a look at things and saying, hey, look, don't give yourself, when you think you've given yourself a buffer, give yourself a little bit more, right? You don't always have to jam pack yourself full of back-to-back meetings. I'm so guilty of doing things like that, back-to-back meetings and phone calls. Take a step back and sort of give yourself some breathing room there. And I'm just sort of excited to write a little bit more and, sort of take on that challenge. So I hope I can do that. And then I hope I get to get back into the gym, man, because it's been like 3 weeks of drinking calories and eating calories. So I need to really focus on that.
Yep.
And like I said, moving forward, I think the things that I'll be working on next is sort of figuring out what I want to do with the Julep plugin, public versus private, and then just firing away. And hopefully by the next time we record a show, I'll have the new Perfect WordPress website course 2.0 sort of ironed out and at least closer to completion than it is now.
That's great. I was thinking about what you asked me about, the lesson I've learned since our last episode, and it's really similar to yours. Mine is kind of, I've learned not to give out, solid timelines or set dates for products in the future, because, with some of our add-ons on the Give side, we've done that when we've had to push it back, and some of our users have been frustrated with us because of that. And the reason we're doing this is not because we don't want to release it right now. It's because the product's not ready yet, and so I think giving soft dates rather than hard dates is in the lines of product releases is kind of the lesson I've learned.
Yeah, and that goes true for both. I mean, we've been as busy as we've ever been on the client services side, and we have come very close, and we never really miss a milestone when it comes to our own internal stuff. I mean, short of, I can think of maybe once or twice, and it wasn't even really caused by us, but it did make us miss an internal milestone. It could have been something like, I think another vendor held us back or something like that. But anyway, really communicating with clients that a lot of this stuff you can't put a hard deadline on because software is software, and even building a basic marketing website, you're going to hit a stride where there's content missing. There's some usability thing that, even though you went over it 15 times in mock-ups and wireframes and rough drafts, once you get into the website, once you start using it, you're like, oh, that doesn't really work the way I want it to.
Right.
So there are going to be those sort of give and takes in those regards. So it's always evolving. That's the fun part, I guess.
Exactly.
Good and the bad. All right, man. I am good unless you have anything else that you want to add.
No, I mean, I think one of my goals by the time we get on the call next time, or excuse me, not call, podcast. What am I thinking? That we are ready to, release another product, and we have released a Facebook reviews widget is what our next thing in the pipeline is. So by the next time, I want that out.
Sweet, man. You're just firing away at all this stuff.
Yep.
You are as crazy as I am. Themes,
Exactly.
plugins, services. That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that. All right, everybody. You know the drill. We'd love to get to 100 iTunes reviews by the end of the year. That'd be great if you can. If you can't, you can go ahead and just tweet to us. It's at Matt Report, and let us know if you do enjoy the show. If there's something else that you'd like to hear us talk about. If you have any questions, if you are familiar with Justin Jackson, if you do follow along with his stuff, if you have any questions for him, go ahead and tweet those questions to us, and even CC him on Twitter if you follow him, and we'll be sure to get those questions answered in that podcast. Till next time, you can follow me at Matt Medeiros. Subscribe, mattreport.com/subscribe. Devin, where can folks find you?
WordPress.com.
Awesome. All right, Devin, thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, thank you.